Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Within the following video, Arleigh will provide an overview of the thoughts and themes he has used regarding his advice and counsel. Included are a few highlights from his book, Managers Unchained. He has been a management consultant for more than 20 years.
Okay, so here we go. Job description. So a guy gets a job description, or a woman gets a job description, and a lot of these companies, they do more than copy the job descriptions out of some book they bought. So you are the head of the something, and we have a job description for you, written by somebody that never worked in a company. I read some of those descriptions. I worked in a big organization. I said the HR department, no, I'm sorry. They were the worst department in the whole company. Everybody complained about them. They don't know what the rules are. They have never studied this and that. Every time I ask them a question, they give me a piece of paper. Here, read this. Come on. I want to talk to somebody. So here's a guy. He gets his job description, and his boss is telling me we narrowed this down to 1 page, and it was 3 pages worth of stuff he has to do. So now what happens? On the job description, there was a thing called other duties as assigned. Did you ever have one of those in your job description? That had to be the biggest foil of mankind ever made. What does that mean? I work with some people in the NEA that had other duties as assigned, and they had the same job for 15 years, and nothing ever changed. They were happy. They had a job, you know what I mean? If it was a woman, her husband was as rich as anything, so she didn't care. If it was a man, he married a rich woman. But he didn't care. That's a bad idea. Other duties as assigned. When the duty starts becoming the same thing over and over and over again, you go to the guy and say, I'd like some more money, please. You added some stuff on there. Are you aware of that? Here is the supervisor, and he's going to do the performance review. So he gets the performance review person in the room, and he says something like, oh, you've done a great job. We're really happy with you. And what we're going to do is we're going to put down on here exceeded expectations. So I go to this company, and they're having turnover problems. I go to this company, and I say to them, you have any idea why I have turnover problems? No, we really don't. I said, well, could I take a look? Would it be all right if I looked at your personnel files? And he said, yeah, you could take a look. And so we come to find out that every supervisor gave everybody in the place exceeded expectations. You know why? Because then we're going to be friends, right? I just gave you a piece of paper that said you exceeded expectations. You didn't do anything. You just came to work. You worked your 8 hours. You were nice to everybody. They liked you. So you exceeded expectations. Oh, here's the guy who got fired. See, that was part of this chapter. And he gets called in. You see the things on his wall? He was Employee of the Month, and then he was 30 years of service and all that, right? And he got fired. Why? Because it was reported that he slowed down on the job. He just wasn't doing what he used to do. He's spending a lot of time on the golf course or in the hospital or wherever he was. So they decide we're going to let him go. So all the rest of the people are thinking, gee, that was a real good guy, did a real good job. How come that happened? So we go back. I got called in about this particular guy. And I said, geez, that guy, he was a pretty good guy. They said, yeah, well, I said, would it be all right if I took a look at his performance review and his record? Okay. So I go in and look, and he had a perfect record. I said, so you fired a guy who had a perfect record. What do you think all the other people are going to think about that? There's not going to be an explanation. He's just gone. I found that to be very, very disheartening. That's not the way to do business. If they had said, we really recommend you take an early retirement, or something like that. That's all right. Or we want to give you a bonus and we think you would be better off doing this, that, and the other thing. That's okay. But to fire this guy and have all that stuff on the wall, I have a lot of trouble with that. So authority. So let's talk about that. That's in the book. Authority. So it says, my first recommendation, this has actually happened. This is, every cartoon you see up here, these are real. I didn't hire a cartoonist. She says, well, my first recommendation is to fire somebody immediately. And that's what the guy's saying to this new manager. The minute you do that, you'll establish your authority. Well, that is partially the truth. But it's not the way to do business. That's an awful thing to do. But that happens. So why to write the book? Why to have that war story in there? So you get the idea. So let's just say you look like a perfect person in the audience. And when you're running your business somewhere, okay, you got your big business, remember this one, okay? You keep that in mind because I'm just trying to say that's not the right way to exercise authority. So here's another one. You're in your car on highway, what is it, 44? What's that? It's the one with all the maniacs that are driving out there, right? They came from New Jersey and New York, and they were looking for a nice place to live. So they decided they're going to tear up your highways. So the phone rings in their car, all right? And you're on the phone, you're going to explain something to them. There is no way in the world that they're going to get that message. Because the guy in front is cutting in front of them, you know? A truck is rolling up alongside them. There's all this stuff going on. If the message was, pull over, I got something really important to say to you. You know what I mean? And you might want to have a pencil and paper with you. Or, we're not going to do this on a cell phone. I want you to come by the office or I'll meet you. You think I'm a nut, don't you? Oh, because we save time on the cell phone. No, we don't. That cell phone is a disaster. When the tower isn't working right, the phone isn't working right. Or, worse, we had an audience review, okay? An audience review, this is on a conference. It was like this. So the guy was up in front, he had a microphone. More than 25 conferences we monitored. And we asked 7 of the managers to rate the conference. So here was the rating. I'll tell you why I got this way. The rating in the conference was the sound wasn't good, the lighting wasn't good, the chairs weren't in the right position, the slides weren't readable, and there were no directions to the restrooms. Of the 7 managers that went to these conferences, the number of people that reported back said, if I was going to give a grade to the people who ran that conference, they would get a D. That's a teacher grade. I used to be one of those. We gave Ds and we gave Fs. 50% of everything they saw was a D or an F. And do you know why? Because there was no rehearsals. There was no test of the sound system. You know what I mean? There was no nothing. It's a bunch of lazy Americans. And they're going to go run a conference. They don't know what in the hell they're doing. Here's Harriet. This is a true story. She's 50 years with the company. So they're going to give her a retirement, right? So she invites her whole family. They all dress up like they're going to church. I mean, this is a great big deal. They're all beautiful. And they get up on a stage and they have a plaque. They always have a plaque. You know what I mean? She would be better off with a trip to the Bahamas, but anyway, they gave her a plaque. So anyhow, so they give this plaque, this beautiful thing, and they hand it over, and they give her a hug. You know, it's wonderful. And they're all in the front applauding. I'm looking at this. I'm in the back of the room, you know, and I'm saying, I shouldn't have said it was me, but it's the truth. That little chapter, that was me. You'll see it. I said, where's the camera? Where's the video? This is a milestone in this woman's life. She worked 50 years with these characters, and this is what she got, a plaque, and she didn't even have a picture, a photo. They should have done beautiful colored photos, you know, professionally done, put them in a frame, and delivered them. And they should have had some for her mother, and show some class, for crying out loud. Well, they didn't do anything. But I was there and I had my camera in the car. So I went and got the camera and I brought it back in. I got all her parents, father, sister, brother, got them all lined up, took their picture, went home, made the colors, mailed it to them. Thrilled out of their mind that somebody cared about them. The company should have cared about them, but they didn't do it right. You know what I mean? How'd you like to work for somebody for 50 years? Here's a plaque.